that in any campaign speech either. But why would we need troops on the ground? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and we wouldn't need 300,000 of them. It's this uranium, too. We've got to get the uranium. If it cannot be destroyed, if it cannot be altered, we got to get it. For the reason I just said. You can make dirty bombs, and over time you can still make sophisticated missiles. So you need to get to the uranium. That's why I'm reading in the paper, we're talking about the 82nd Airborne, we're talking about these various special forces and the various military services and so forth. He's not talking about sending regular army and infantry in by the hundreds of thousands. The men he's talking about, the units he's talking about, they are specialized. And you know what else? I remember from my days in the Reagan administration. Many of them are trained for a moment like this, to try and secure enriched uranium.
You see, here's the problem, folks. They keep on moving the bar, right? 1 minute, we're just going in. It's Operation Midnight Hammer. We're going to destroy the nuclear facilities. Then we're told they're destroyed. Right? Now we've got to go in. Now we've got to go in and we've got to now capture the uranium. Has Mark Levin lost his mind? How out of touch with the American voter are these people? About what point do they not realize that the American voter is sick and tired of wars in the Middle East? I just don't get it. I don't get why we're going down this path. It's so disturbing to me as somebody that's voted for President Trump 3 times. I believe he won 3 times. Here we are. You can see it up in the corner. President Trump's Truth Social. Watch Mark Levin's interview. Right? Tonight, 8 o'clock, Fox News. He'll be discussing the importance of hitting Iran hard. This is insanity. Let's finish up with this, Goober.
Many have been trained for moments like this.
You know, I just don't get it. I really don't get it at all. You know, he starts off with troops on the ground. No, what President Trump talked about many times in many speeches is no more never-ending wars in the Middle East. And if you don't think that us going into Iran and putting either its special forces, whatever they are, the 82nd Airborne, if you don't think that's going to be a long-term engagement in the Middle East, you're out of your mind. What happened to just hitting these people, taking out the Ayatollah, and then the people of Iran rising up and taking their country back? Why doesn't Israel put troops on the ground? Why does our men and women, why does our treasured life from the U.S., why do we have to put everything on the line all the time? We're paying for it. Our soldiers are paying for it with their blood. Our mothers, fathers, daughters are paying for it with the loss of their families. I've had enough of this. Right? And Fox News and all of them just keep on dragging us down further, it's just a couple of troops on the ground. What are these people smoking? It's almost like they are trying to sabotage the midterms. I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I feel like we are at a point And I said this last night on the live stream, where it's COVID 2.0, and we have the deep state rats, the rhinos Republicans, and the Democrats all working together to try to sabotage Trump's recovery here. And I'll tell you, they're doing a damn good job of it. You know, then we have, I'll pull it up, then we have reporters from CNN, and listen, I don't like the CNN reporters. I'm not going to sit here and act like they're great, but you have Israeli soldiers choking them out in the West Bank because they're trying to report on this settlement. And our government says nothing. These are American citizens being treated like piles of crap by Israeli soldiers. This should disturb everybody. It's almost like Israel can just get away with whatever the hell they want. Nobody says a damn word. We just have to suck it up, continue to send them 300 million or whatever it is a year, plus weapons. And now we have to fight their battles. Right? And if we go in and we try to secure the Straits of Hormuz, you want to talk about a bloodbath? Are you prepared for that as an American? Are you prepared for your children to die so that Europe, China, and India can get their oil? Are you prepared for that? Because I know I'm not. I didn't sign up for that. It's just escalating and escalating and escalating. And you got people like Lindsey Graham dragging us into it. Now you got Tel Aviv Levin, right, who's practically drooling on himself for us to get engaged and have American blood spilled again in the Middle East for nothing. I got a strategy. Why don't we arm... Right? Why don't we arm the people of Iran and let them rise up and take their damn country back? Why does it have to be us? Everything was going so great. We had an economic boom that was going to happen this summer like you've never seen in your life, and it's all just been flushed down the damn toilet. Mark my words.
Producer Abir Salman identifies us as journalists before translating the soldiers' commands.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
So the soldiers just immediately came up and started pointing their weapons directly at us, telling everyone to sit down immediately. Obviously, we're not posing any threat here.
The commander comes straight for our camera, and within seconds... A soldier has just put photojournalist Cyril Theophilus in a chokehold, forcing him to the ground.
Don't touch him like that. Don't touch him like that. Give me my phone.
The soldier who assaulted Theophilus continues to demand he turn off his camera, before another smacks my phone.
So as you can see, what we have seen happen in the last 24 hours is that settlers came to this area. They settled that hilltop, and now you have a lot of soldiers coming to this area with the Palestinians in this area. They're on top of the home of Imad, the man that we were just speaking to. And we're seeing the soldiers treat the Palestinians in the area as the threat, when really what started this problem was obviously the settlers who came in the middle of the night and took over land that's not theirs.
The Palestinians here are detained and questioned. Soldiers detain us too and walk us back to our vehicle. They say they're trying to establish order between settlers and Palestinians.
Right. Yeah. You know, but you can put a journalist in a chokehold. The American government says nothing. Meanwhile, it's our money, it's our blood. We're the ones over there taking care of this for Israel. And our media's silent. Our government's silent about the way the journalists were treated. Their job is to document things. That's their job, to go out and document what happened. You know, and anybody that doesn't want troops on the ground, or anybody that doesn't want any involvement in this crazy Middle East war with Iran, you're called a panicking, you're called a doomer. I'm not a doomer, I'm a damn realist. And I know where this is going to end up. I'm sorry to say it, but President Trump, you're being led down the path of destruction once again, just like in 2020 with the coronavirus, where you kept the country locked down too long because you listened to Dr. Birx, the Scarf Queen, and Anthony Fauci. You destroyed your economy, and it's happening all over again, folks. All because of what? Do we remember what happened a few months ago? When Benjamin Netanyahu came to the White House and he gave Trump the equivalent, the Israeli equivalent of the Nobel Peace Prize. Here you go, Mr. President. You just stroke somebody's ego and all of a sudden, boom, whatever you want. I mean, do you need to hear Mark Levin again? Did I not warn you on my radio show, on my podcast, that we were going down this road? Did I not tell you that? Operation Midnight Hammer. What did I say? This isn't the end of it, folks. You know why? Because Bibi wants regime change, right? So we were having negotiations. Remember the negotiations? President Trump, oh, they're giving us a gift. They gave us 10 boats of oil. They're giving us, now we've got to put ground troops in there to secure uranium? I mean, think about how insane this is. Please. Please. And don't, you're going to have your talking heads out there that are going to be going, well, this is the most America First thing I've ever seen in my life. Explain it to me. Explain how securing oil for China, our biggest enemy on the planet, securing oil for China, cheap oil, India, and the rest of Europe. We're going to displace all of these people in Iran. Where are they going to end up? You're going to have Lindsey Graham, you're going to have Mark Levin on TV telling you how, we need to bring these people here. We need to bring them here because they're real America First, right? These people are more American than the American people. That's exactly what you're going to hear from Lindsey Graham. That's exactly what you're going to hear from Mark Levin. They're not going to settle them into Israel. They're going to send them to Europe and right here on your front door, baby. And you're going to foot the bill for it. And if you say anything about it, well, you're going to be a traitor and you're going to be a doomer and you're going to be all these things because you don't agree with sacrificing the blood of your children for another endless war in the Middle East. It's time for us to wake up, folks. It really is. And you know what? I love President Trump more than anything in the world. He's the greatest president, but damn it, why do you get dragged down this path? We're going to lose the midterms, hands down. Hands down, we're going to lose the midterms. We've got, we keep on hearing how we've won this war already. Well, if we've won the war, now we've got the Houthi rebels involved in this. We're getting attacked from Lebanon in Israel. They're launching missiles on our base. They pretty much shut down Dubai. If we're winning, show me how we're winning. Because it doesn't feel like it. It feels like we're getting sucked in deeper and deeper and deeper. That's what it feels like. And if you're out there and you have a different view, please tell me because I'm at a loss for this. I'm at a loss. The fact that you had Mark Levin on TV last night talking about, he never said that we weren't going to put boots on the ground. He he never said that. You know what? I need to play that again. I want this to sink in for everybody out there where we're going. This really needs to sink into your brain on this Sunday. And you realize where this is going. I don't want to be right about any of this. Particularly, this weasel, Mark Levin, an agent of Israel. Yes, I'm saying it. Mark Levin is Israel first. 100%. I want you to watch it again. Look up in the corner. What does it say? Oh, watch Mark Levin tonight. President Trump's Truth Social. Watch Mark Levin tonight. He's got some hard-hitting propaganda to sell you about how we should commit our kids to fight a battle in the Middle East for Israel.
Troops on the ground. He said no troops on the ground. I don't remember that in any campaign speech either. But why would we need troops on the ground? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and we wouldn't need 300,000 of them. It's
one boot on the ground is a troop on the ground. One boot on the ground in the Middle East is a troop on the ground. It doesn't matter if it's 300,000 or 300. Why are we there? I don't want to hear about this uranium. I'm so sick and tired of this freaking argument. I laid it out yesterday. Right? You had the UN, you had the UN, you had American intelligence sit there and tell you that they could not confirm that Iran had an ICBM. They couldn't confirm that they had an ICBM. The only people that could confirm it was Israel. Right? NATO said that they believe it was a mid-range missile that they pushed to their capacity. It didn't hit anything. So there's no real way to gauge the distance, and they believe that the satellite tracking was manipulated via Israel. So forget about this talking point that they have, and they're trying to sell you on Mark Levin, Sean Hannity, and News and Newsmax, right? About how, Iran had these ballistic missiles and they were going to use them. They didn't have them. They didn't. They're lying to you. There's no proof. I want to see the proof. The American Intelligence Agency can't even come out and confirm it and tell you that's what it was. But yet you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. You want to know why you're going to hear it? Because the first thing you hear sticks in your head. It sticks in your head. So now it becomes a truth. Even if later on it comes out down the road that they didn't have this ICBM, it's still in your head. You still believe it because you heard it the first time from dopes and clowns for Israel like Mark Levin. The American people are the ones that are going to suffer in this conflict. It's not going to be Israel. It's going to be us. We're going to suffer financially. We're going to suffer. I mean, the American farmers are already sounding the alarms about the cost of fertilizer going through the roof right now. You want to talk about inflation, baby? It has nothing to do with the amount of money the government is spending. By the way, you know how much money it's costing us to fund this war? That's us. That's our dollars. That's our tax dollars. Right? But we hear from the Republicans and the neocons, oh, you're spending all this money. Oh, look at it. How about we spend this money on the American people? Right? That $2,000 check that President Trump promised you from the tariffs. You're not getting it, baby. No, you're not getting it. It's going to help Israel fight their problem. You're paying higher oil prices, and you're going to pay higher heating prices this winter. Because of this war right here, you're going to pay higher food prices. Why? Because Israel sold President Trump a lie, and now we're engaged in a war that we have no way out of. And they're just selling you in deeper. Listen to it.
This uranium, too. We've got to get the uranium. If it cannot be destroyed, if it cannot be altered, we got to get it. For the reason I just said. You can make dirty bombs.
Oh, dirty
and over
bomb.
time, you can still make sophisticated missiles.
Ooh.
So you need to get to the uranium. That's why I'm reading in the paper, we're talking about the 82nd Airborne, we're talking about these various special forces and the various military services and so forth. He's not.
It's making me sick. I can't even handle it. I can't handle watching it twice. It's making me sick to my stomach. These people are deranged and they're out of touch with what America First is. And frankly, I believe President Trump is becoming unattached to his base. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what planet we're on. I didn't vote for this war. And frankly, Iran was no intimate threat at this point in time. Bibi's been lying to us about it forever. Matter of fact, go look up the documentary that Tucker Carlson just put out. In Bibi's own words, he was funding Hamas with your tax dollars. Under interrogation, your tax dollars. Same people we're fighting and killing right now with your tax dollars, we fund it and built up. How does that make you feel? You should be absolutely pissed and out of your mind right now because of what's going on, because this does not serve the American people. You want to know what would serve the American people? Getting fentanyl off the damn streets. Rapidly moving our manufacturing from China to the United States because China's the real enemy. They're sitting back and they're watching us deplete our resources. That's what we're doing, folks. We're depleting our resources. We're getting ourselves further into debt with this war, and we're making the politicians, Raytheon, and all the military contractors rich off the American people's backs. Oh, and by the way, we're making the oil companies rich. Do you think the oil companies or the Arab nations, do you think that they want lower oil prices? Absolutely not. They're salivating and loving this. They're sitting back and counting the dollars. While the American taxpayer and the American worker is getting screwed again. Again. We need to solve this problem. We need to fix this issue. You know, you've got President Trump endorsing Lindsey Graham? Almost endorsing John Cornyn? What the hell is going on? And I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, yeah, well, would you rather have Kamala Harris? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't rather have Kamala Harris. I would rather have a president that I voted for that was all about America first and that promised me we weren't going to get engaged in any more endless wars in the Middle East. That's what I would like. I would like a president that promised me that we weren't going to have high oil prices. It was going to be low. Inflation was going to come down. Here we are, baby. And anybody that sits there and says to you with a straight face, well, under Joe Biden and Barack Obama, you were paying $120 a barrel for oil, $110 a barrel of oil. Well, I voted them out. And I voted for cheap oil, so I expect not to pay $110 a barrel for oil. I don't care if it's a month, 2 months. This isn't going to be a 2 month. We're going to be involved in this Iranian war for the next fucking couple of months, baby. We'll be lucky if we're out in September. You know what that's going to do? You know what that's going to do to the recovery? We're getting screwed. We're getting screwed. And you know what? The Iranians, they don't even want to deal with Jared Kushner and Witkoff anymore. Because they lie to them. Because every time there's a negotiation or a deal, right here we go. Here we go. Let's just look at the way this has worked every freaking time. Right? We were negotiating with Gaza, right, with the Palestinians. When we were in the cuffs of having some type of agreement, Israel goes in and bombs them. Let's look at Ukraine. You want to look at Ukraine? Huh? Let's look at Ukraine. Every time President Trump was in the middle of almost coming to a deal with Vladimir Zelensky and Putin, Ukraine launches a freaking drone attack deep inside of Russia, sabotaging it. Look at the Middle East right now. What did we hear on Friday? What did we hear at that press conference? Oh, they want to negotiate. They're negotiating. They want to talk to us. They're sending us gifts. They sent us these tankers of oil, 10 of them. Now we're talking about troops on the ground. They're bombing. They bombed one of our spy planes in Dubai, I believe. Destroyed it. Destroyed it. That's your money. That's your tax dollars. Oh, to benefit who? Who is this? It's not benefiting me. It's benefiting Israel. It's benefiting the military-industrial complex, and it's benefiting Lindsey Graham and his wallet. And apparently Mark Levin, because he's an agent. He's an agent of Israel. I'll bet you he gets money from AIPAC. I'll bet you every single politician that's cheerleading this war gets money from AIPAC. Not benefiting us one iota. One iota. As a matter of fact, the Senate, the weasels, they all ran out of Washington, D.C., right? And thank you, Mike Johnson, for having a set of balls to send this legislation back and tell them, stuff it. You don't want to fund ICE. You don't want to fund Border Patrol. We're not passing anything. Because I guarantee you President Trump would have signed it if it would have landed on his desk. Because Susie Wilds and Susie Wilds and that slobbering pile of crap Lindsey Graham would have been drooling all over him going, oh, you got to sign it, President Trump. It's the best we're going to get from the Senate. Lindsey Graham is an agent of Israel. He's always flying back and forth to the Middle East, making promises that he has no business promising. He's not the president. I didn't vote for him. Who the hell is he? He's some deranged, hateful lunatic. That's what he is. Meanwhile, me and you, we're getting the screws turned to us, baby. How does it feel? Really, America first. Oh, it's so great. Higher oil prices, more wars in the Middle East. Oh, I'm just loving this. It's despicable, actually. It is. And I hope that President Trump, I hope that people start to catch President Trump's ears so that we can 180 this baby and get the hell out. We should have ended it when we got the Ayatollah. If we were going to do it, once we hit the Ayatollah and he was done, President Trump should have declared victory, armed the people of Iran, and let them rise up. Look at what's going on in Syria. Do you think that's not going to fester into something that's going to haunt Israel and the next war in the Middle East? There's something wrong with you. I said it from the beginning. Right? When we had this scumbag, he came to the White House, a member of Hamas that was installed by the CIA of your government and Benjamin Netanyahu because he was funding them with your tax dollars. That's right. Go watch the video, folks. Benjamin Netanyahu, he says it in his own words. It's not Tucker Carlson. It's Benjamin Netanyahu. Why do you think he wants to continue these wars? Takes the focus off of him. Right? President Trump, he begged the president of Israel to pardon Benjamin Netanyahu, and the guy refused to. Well, why did President Trump say he wanted him pardoned? Because it would make peace in the Middle East easier. See, I don't know what's going on here. I really have no clue. As far as it goes, the relationship between Benjamin Netanyahu and President Trump, I don't know. All I know is that President Trump has surrounded himself with Lindsey Graham. He's at Mar-a-Lago every weekend golfing with the president. Lindsey Graham is the same guy that went on Fox News and Sean Hannity and said Joe Biden was a good man. Was a good, honest man. By whose standards? Joe Biden was a dirtbag that took a shower with his teenage daughter. Had his son sending him text messages with videos of his son having sex with prostitutes. That sounds like a good man? I don't think so. Benjamin Netanyahu, the first world leader to call Joe Biden and congratulate him on his win. Rubbing up all over him. Oh yeah, real good friends, President Trump. You're surrounding yourself with great people. And yes, I'm upset. I'm pissed off. And you should be too. Because from the beginning, we watched the rhinos in Washington, D.C. slow walk anything that President Trump might have to make this country great. They've slow walked it. Everything that President Trump has had to do, he's had to do on his own with executive action. Because these weasels in Washington, they don't want change. They love this. They're getting rich while you're getting poorer. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to want to raise your taxes, baby, and the excuse is going to be, well, we had to fight this war. We had to fight this war to keep your country safe, right? Iran, this big threat. We've been hearing about it since 2002 from Benjamin Netanyahu about how they were on the cuffs of having nuclear weapons. Never had any evidence. But we've been hearing about it. It's all been a lie. All of it. To deceive you, just like the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq was a lie. Just like the uprising in Iran with the people was a lie. It was Mossad in there creating chaos, just like we did in Libya with Gaddafi. We created a false uprising. Right? We have the government weaponizing. Again, we're just weaponizing it against people that don't agree with this war. Right? They're weaponizing, and I had my Rumble channel wiped twice. It was wiped twice. Well, because somebody doesn't like what I have to say. I guess. Because I'm speaking the truth. Right? 43,000 followers, a bunch of streaming revenue gone. Amazing how that works. Tucker Carlson, Joe Kent, under investigation by the FBI. Why is Joe Kent under investigation by the FBI? You know, you have Adam Schiff out there who's leaked more classified information than anybody on the frickin' planet, and he's still walking around free. As a matter of fact, he became a U.S. Senator. Eric Swalwell, Oh, this guy, he had a Chinese spy for a girlfriend, and God knows what he leaked. He was on the intelligence committee. He doesn't have an FBI probe. He's fine. It's funny how they're selectively choosing the deep state who they want to prosecute. Anybody that might make this house of cards come crumbling down and open up the eyes of the American people, they want to shut you up. Both sides. They want to shut you up and shut you down. They don't want you to have this information. Because all the scumbags in DC that are getting rich and grifting off of your money, it all comes crumbling down for them. It's time for the American people to wake the hell up. We have the opportunity to take this country back. God forbid, we've got to win these midterms. We can't let the Democrats have control. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we need to capture the ear of the President of the United States and let him know we're not happy with this war. We want cheap oil. We want America to be great. We want the focus to be domestically. I don't care about the Mideast. I really could give two shits. We spend enough money to Israel that they can defend it themselves. They're a freaking nuclear-armed country. We need to worry about China. That's who we need to worry about. That's our biggest enemy. Not Iran, China. And this isn't hurting China one iota. They're still getting cheap oil. They're getting it from Russia. Funding the Ukraine war, which the taxpayer has funded. We're funding Russia by what's happening in the Straits of Hormuz. It's allowing China to purchase more oil from Russia at a cheaper price. Funding the war in Russia against Ukraine, which the American taxpayer has funded. Am I the only one that sees this? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I need duct tape to tape my head together because I feel like it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up like the video behind me on the TV. That's my head right now. I don't know, folks. You need to pray. You need to pray tonight when you go to bed on this Palm Sunday. You need to pray. You need to pray to God that He captures President Trump's mind and we get out of this, because we're dealing with people that want to bring on Armageddon artificially. Both sides. And God forbid Mecca gets hit. God forbid somehow a rocket, either it be from Iran, the Houthis, or God forbid Israel hits Mecca. It's going to be World War III like you've never seen in your life. And all this war is doing is radicalizing a new group of jihadists. That's it. A new group of jihadists against the West. That's it. And we've got them here. We've got them here. Keep your eyes on Easter weekend, baby. We hit them, the Muslims in Iran. We hit them during Ramadan. Yep, keep your eyes on Easter weekend. That's all I'm saying. Keep your eyes on the Vatican. This is just going to continue to escalate because of people like Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham. It's that simple. And President Trump, brother, I love you, but you are getting sucked in deeper and deeper and deeper without an exit. You had your exit. Operation Midnight Hammer would have been the perfect time to just say, okay, we did all we could. It's time for the people of Iran to rise up, take arms. I don't care. We could have armed them. I could care less. I just don't want my American citizens on the ground. That's that simple. It's that simple. With that being said, I want everybody to have a blessed blessed day. If you're on Getter, we should have soon. I believe Tim Skillett should be coming on soon to cover some of the news shows that happened today with some other breaking news that he'll have. And then we'll see you Monday night. We'll see you Monday night on the Killer Carl podcast here, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to stay tuned. We've got Panic and Rehab happening at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning on Getter and on the Panic and Rehab YouTube channel. And we're going to keep it real, baby. We're going to keep telling you the truth and not let anything stop us. Because I want to make America great. I want our country to have affordable goods, affordable fuel. But please say a prayer on this Palm Sunday for President Trump, and we will see you back here later.